Imagine this, a contract, big money involved. But there's a problem. It's not just any problem, it's a language barrier. The stakes are high and the pressure is on. It's written in another language filled with legal jargon and complex terms. That's where our legal translation swoops in to save the day. It's not just about translating words, it's about translating meaning and intent. Our legal translation services make certain that the translated text mirrors the culture and legal language of the region or the country. Legal translation isn't just about swapping words, it's about capturing the essence and the soul of the law. Every detail, every nuance must be preserved. Every comma, every clause matters. Precision is key. It's about making sure the law is clear in every language. No room for misunderstandings. Clarity is paramount. Because when legal documents get lost in translation, chaos ensues. Things can go very, very wrong. Contracts crumble, cases collapse, justice takes a nosedive. The consequences are dire. Legal translation is probably one of the most complicated types of translation in this day and age. Anyone who has skimmed over any legal document will know that the writing style used is not the easiest to grasp without years of study and practice. Beyond that, there are a number of other factors that end up making translating a legal text into another language quite the challenge. This is why only the best and most qualified translators should be hired to do this sort of translation work. First challenge, do you really need to translate that entire stack of documents? This may be more of a challenge for the client than the translator, but an inexperienced translator wouldn't know how to deal with the sheer volume of documents that go into just one court case. Being able to tell which documents are superfluous or simply don't need to be translated is a skill that saves both time and money. Second challenge, how different are the legal systems of the countries involved? While most countries share a lot of the same features in their legal systems, assuming that certain things don't change can lead to very bad consequences. The legal language of a text or document is influenced greatly by the culture of the country, which also influences the structure of the legal system. This means that an understanding of both the culture of the source and target languages, as well as the legal systems of both, is necessary to even begin a legal translation. Certain legal concepts can be phrased completely differently from one country to the next, but an in-depth knowledge of both legal systems, as well as the terminologies in both languages, makes for accurate translations. Third challenge, what is a verbatim legal translation? Often, legal translators will be asked by lawyers, judges, and anyone else involved in a case to render a verbatim translation of a document. A verbatim translation would mean the translator would have to look at every single word and translate them all individually, ignoring the overall concepts and meanings in the source text. Alpha Omega Translations recognizes all of these challenges and more, having years of experience in the translation services industry. Legal translation just happens to be one of the many areas that Alpha Omega Translations specializes in, with a team of the best and most qualified and experienced translators on call at all times. For non-linguists, buying legal translation services can be a challenge. By hiring a language service provider who understands their needs, companies and firms conducting business in multiple international regions can harness the power of language to make sure their challenges are met with the right mix of technological and human support. The demand for multilingual translation in legal departments and law firms is on the rise. Global law firms and international companies frequently need support from outside translation services. Multilingual support is often required in various areas such as court reporting, e-discovery for litigation, mergers and acquisitions, and bankruptcy cases. In every case, achieving fast turnaround times with error-free results is of utmost importance to the firm and its clients. For companies and firms conducting business in multiple international regions, translation presents steep challenges related to cost and efficiency. Overcoming those challenges requires the right mix of technological and human support. Contracts. With companies in basically every industry globalizing or getting ready to globalize, contracts will be drawn up between companies that may not speak the same language. As a contract is a legally binding agreement between two or more parties and includes all of the details of this agreement, it is extremely important that all parties involved understand exactly what it is they are agreeing to. An accurate translation of the contract must be provided to ensure that there are no misunderstandings. Legislation regulation. If a company decides to branch out and open up shop in another country, they had better know exactly what to expect in terms of the legislation and regulations there. If the country happens to use a different language, then it is essential that all of these regulations and pieces of legislation be translated in order to be understood by everyone in the company. Immigration. Sometimes a client needs help going through the immigration process in a country where they do not know the language. In this kind of situation, the job of the legal translator is to make sure they accurately render any legal information the immigrant would need to know in order to understand their rights and what the process will include. Litigation. Sometimes court cases don't fit neatly within the country borders we have on the map and spill over into other nations. When this happens, the already complicated litigation process becomes even more so with the addition of a new language and legal system. A translator who specializes in legal translation is there to solve the issues of different languages and legal systems so that the case can be resolved and justice doled out accordingly. Our experts have been very successful in executing high-end multilingual projects for 2 decades. We have over 20 years of experience as an agency in translation and localization in all languages. For more information about Alpha Omega Translations, please visit our website.